Good morning. I thought we'd start with a little bit of science. Not much, I promise. Here I have a strange representation of molecules. As you know, molecules are made up of atoms, not grapes, and they stick to each other depending on their attraction. What you might not know is that molecules of exactly the same substance can have a left-handed shape or a right-handed shape. Now, if I turn this one around, you'll notice that the green one is now on the wrong side, whereas the mirror image had to be made differently, just as my left hand is made differently to my right hand, even though they both do exactly the same things. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, the reason being that life only uses the left-hand molecule, which is odd because, say you're doing an experiment in a laboratory, it doesn't matter whether your molecules are left or right-handed, the reaction will be the same. But life, any life, trees, humans, will only use left-handed molecules. Now, why is that? Well, we're not really sure, but it does work out quite well. And I'll explain why using this glove. I have here a left-handed glove. Now, my right hand does the same thing as my left hand, but when I come to try to put it in a left-handed glove, it doesn't really fit. It's uncomfortable, and it just isn't designed for a right hand. Which means really that life on this planet has been designed. Somebody had to choose the left-handed molecules to put them together in a string of proteins, for example. So this means that here I have a cheese sandwich, which is made of left-handed molecules, and I can eat it and I can digest it because my enzymes are also left-handed. But supposing I was to go to a right-handed planet where life was using right-handed molecules, and they gave me a cheese sandwich, which would be exactly the same, still have carbohydrates, protein, and a bit of greenery, and I ate it, I would have serious trouble digesting it, because this would be right-handed molecules and my enzymes would be left. So you wouldn't survive on a right-handed planet for very long. I'm just trying to say how wondrous life is. We'll come to that in a moment. But what else do we have to make our faith a bit stronger? Well, in 2 Peter chapter 1, Peter said in verse 3, "By his divine power he has given us all the things we need for life and devotion," and I might add for faith. And then he goes on later on to talk about how he went up into the mountain with James and John and Jesus was transfigured before them. And so Peter then says in verse 19, "So we have confirmation of what was said in prophecies." Well, which prophecy was he particularly talking about? Well, if we go to Luke 9, which is the account of the transfiguration, Jesus said to his apostles, "I tell you truly, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God." And then, of course, a few days later, he takes Peter and the others into the mountain and becomes like the king, as he will be in his glory in the kingdom. We can be absolutely certain that the kingdom is going to come. So when we look at 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6, talking about being absolutely certain, Peter says, "This is a cause of great joy for you, even though you may for a short time have to bear being plagued by all sorts of trials. This life is very, very difficult. But when Jesus is revealed, your faith will have been tested and proved like gold." And in verse 8 he says, "So you are already filled with a joy so glorious it can't be described. This hope sees us through all sorts of trials And when we look at creation, as David said in Psalm 139, where are we? Verse 13. It was you who created my inner self. And verse 14, for all these mysteries, I thank you for the wonder of myself and the wonder of your works. So thank you so much for watching this morning, and take care to build your faith up. Be firm in your faith, and we will see the kingdom come very soon. Thank you so much.